Hi, good morning, y'all. I told you I'd be on here at 10:30, and I apologize. It's 10:32. Running from the gym, hence gym hair. And I had needed a minute to set up my room because I came in and there was a, "Hi, Mary. I miss your face." Hi, Kelly. I came in my room and there was this new piece of furniture and I didn't know what to do with it. And so I started moving it around, trying to make room for it. It's like a little side table thingy. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but it's there. Anyways, I tried to lift up my window to get some more light in here so my room wouldn't look so dark and depressing, because that's probably not good for a therapist to have a dark room. But it creates a glare, and then I can't see y'all, and you probably can't see me. So good morning, it's Gina Tabrizy. I'm having to hold the camera also. So this is all good. Hi, John, how are you? Happy spring. So this is amazing. Today is the first day of spring, I believe. It is the Persian New Year or Iranian New Year's for all of those brothers and sisters out there, my Iranian brothers and sisters who might be watching. And it is what they call Nowruz. And so if you are watching, or my husband's watching, Eid Shema Mubarak, Happy New Year to you, to all of you. I think it's kind of fun that their new year starts in spring. That makes a lot of sense to me. The first day of spring is renewal, rebirth, rejoice. It's all about out with the old and in with the new and starting over and starting fresh. And this week on Thursday, I'm going to be talking about having understanding instead of criticism. So as we're talking about New Year right now for just a few minutes while I'm with you before my first client at 10:45, I got to get to that on time, right? So I want to say to you that understanding and compassion is the key to renewal and rebirth. We can't start over, we can't start new, we can't start a new beginning without having understanding and compassion instead of criticism. It is so hard when someone has wronged you, has hurt you, has left you, or has falsely accused you of anything, has criticized you, hey Darla, has belittled you in any way. It is so hard to have understanding instead of criticism. Oftentimes we're critical of other people because we're hurt, because they have harmed us in some way. And so we start to only see the negative in them because they are seeing that in us. And it's kind of that saying, two wrongs don't make a right. Just because someone else doesn't have compassion, kindness, and hi, Natalie, and understanding doesn't mean that you're not capable of that, okay? So think about it. Oftentimes we start to criticize someone for our hurt. Oftentimes we start to criticize because we're angry. Oftentimes we start to criticize because that person refuses to hear our opinion or our feelings, and that's very painful. The majority of our misunderstanding in relationships is because we refuse to hear each other. Most of the time when you're talking to someone, they're already thinking about what they're going to say and how they're going to respond to you, and so they're not really listening to you and who you are. So I want you to practice understanding comes first from listening, okay? And listening means I'm getting to know you. If I care about you, in my silence and having my ears open and listening to you, I'm getting to know you. So listen to get to know someone and speak to be understood. Don't just speak to be heard. Don't just speak to speak. Wait until you've clearly heard what that person, your partner, is hurt or frustrated about. Take them in, take their words in, and then listen and express how you feel about what you've heard instead of criticizing what you just heard and breaking it down and telling them, well, that's stupid, that doesn't make sense, I can't believe you think that, why are you always telling me that? When you come at someone in accusatory criticism with a lack of understanding, they're always going to get defensive, right? Hi, Joel and Natalie again. Let me read what you're saying. I'm so glad you caught me, Natalie. It's only wrong if you allow it to dictate the way you respond. Criticism is a form of defense for those that have nothing. Yes, you're right on the same page with me, my friend. Speak to be heard. If you aren't heard, then you didn't speak. So for me, the understanding is the key to not becoming critical of other people. The people that we are most critical of is ourselves. So it starts with us, okay? So if we are in a negative space in our own head and we're being critical and having high expectations of ourselves, or telling ourselves that we're never getting it right or we're never good enough, then how are we going to take in other people in relationships? How are we going to have compassion and understanding for them? Well, we're not going to. What we're going to do is criticize them to try to gain control of the situation, to try to have power over our pain and our hurt. So I want you to think about, even if it's your kids or your boss or your colleagues or your best friends, how often you become critical of them, even in your own mind and in your own thoughts, even if you don't express it to them. You're setting up in that relationship that you're going to have this tension and you're going to have these unresolved issues and you're going to have resentment, right? Hi, Adam. So I want you to focus on understanding instead of criticism. I want you to understand that understanding comes from a place of forgiveness, and we're not always capable of that. When and if you feel like you're in conversation with someone and you're feeling hurt and you're feeling frustrated and they are not listening or hearing you, maybe it's time to take a break. So an easy tool is, sorry, there's a hair somewhere on my face. There's an easy tool, which is to take a time out. We do it with little kids when they're frustrated and they're throwing a fit. We kind of stick them in a corner and say, hey, you need a timeout. So it's totally appropriate as adults to say, I'm frustrated in this conversation right here and we are getting nowhere and we're going in circles. I need a little break from it so that I can just kind of take a step back, breathe, and come back with some compassion and understanding, because otherwise I'm just going to come back with anger. Okay? What do you think about that? Hi, Dave, blah, 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 blah. No one wants to hear this. Thank you, Dave. And now you can just tune off. When you don't want to hear something, you don't have to listen. That's the beauty of being a human being. You have choices, right? So the people that are listening and watching are people that have heard me before. You know that I go live on Thursday nights. These are topics of human kindness, understanding, compassion. I'm talking about not criticizing. So now I'm setting an example for you not to be critical of others. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. We're all different. We're meant to be different. That's what makes this world amazing, is that we're not all the same humans and we don't all need the same thing. So when you don't need something, don't accept it. If it's working for you, take it in and rejoice and take that in. So, what I want for today is to let you know that on Thursdays when I do the live, it's a longer live. That's like a 30 or 40-minute talk. I'll take your questions and your comments. I try to support you in whatever you're doing. I give you guidance. I'm a licensed therapist of 32 years experience, so I'm not just talking just to talk, and I'm not just talking just to be heard, okay? It's just to support, and hopefully people will find love, support, inspiration in whatever way I can bring it this morning. And since the talk is to have understanding, not criticism, maybe you can practice that here with me like I'm practicing it with you, okay? Thank you, Vera. We are one tongue and two ears. Dave is still here because he cares. Thank you. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but you think you really need to keep posting. Okay, sorry, Dave. So anyways, again, tune it off. What you don't need and what you want and doesn't serve you, they have that expression and program. Take what you need and leave the rest. My postings are a public service. Like I said, I've been a clinician for many, many years, and I do this to share with other people who may need serious help, who may need guidance, who may need to find a way to deal with their addiction, broken marriages, broken relationships, divorce, suffering, post-traumatic stress disorder, any kind of trauma. Those are areas that I am working with my clients on and supporting them on for 32 years. And it's free. This is for fun and for free. So when my clients come in, it's a paid service, and this is not. So take what you need, leave the rest. Understanding and compassion starts with you. When you are so critical of others and critical of people in the world and critical of what you don't understand and what doesn't serve you, then you're in a negative mindset, and most of your life is going to reflect that. You're going to reflect a bad attitude. You're going to reflect that with people around you. You're going to reflect that in your relationships. And oftentimes we're criticizing others for what we don't have within ourselves, for things in ourselves that we haven't explored, ignored, things that we haven't fixed, things that we're not willing to look at. If I'm okay with me, I have no need to make you wrong. That's a beautiful expression that I heard and learned through codependency, Codependence Anonymous, and Codependence in Recovery. If I'm okay with me, I have no need to make you wrong. There's no need to take people down, to hurt people, to be critical of other people. You just don't have to. It's not necessary. It comes from cruelty, and it comes from a huge insecurity, and it comes from fear also. And I have nothing better to do than to share with you a negative, hurt, angry, critical opinion. Then maybe I need to find other things in my life that are more fulfilling. So I'm hoping for you, as we're sitting here today, that you find a different way and a different path of understanding people, loving yourself enough to not become a person of criticism, to not become a person who's only putting negative, hurt, bad energy into the world. We have enough of that. To share yourself, because we all have gifts, we all have talents, we all have things that we can share with other people, and maybe you just haven't figured out what that purpose is yet. And sometimes when you're not living your purpose, then you're living a hurtful, angry, sad, isolated life. And I think everybody deserves to live the life that they want, a life of beauty, a life of surrender, a life of faith, a life of purpose. We should all wake up and feel like there's something that's driving me to do good, to participate in this world, and that when I leave this world, I'm leaving a legacy. I'm leaving something better than what I found. This talk is about that. I am trying to leave legacies for my life. And those of you who haven't been on here or known me or been watching for too long, I'm a cancer survivor. What motivated these talks is for me to understand that every day is precious, and I need to start to live my life in a way to embrace and be grateful for every single person that comes in my life, because we can learn from everyone. I learn all the time by being on these lives with you and things that you share and your feedback. And I teach, but I learn and I receive, and you can learn too. You can accept from other people, like I said, take in the good, leave the bad, but it's an opportunity. We all need to heal. We all need change. We all need to take our own inventories. And no one in this world, in this planet, on this earth, or outside of this earth is perfect. We are all flawed human beings. And compassion will take us so much further than anger and hurt. And I hope that makes sense to you. Vera, let's see what we got here. So many want to look at half empty instead of half full. Thank you for all you do, Gina. Thanks, Mary. Thank you for sharing. Vera, it is neither half empty nor half full. It is there with all it can hold at given moment. Right. Stay in the moment and stay in the present and accept what is and what isn't, and you choose for yourself. Thank you, Filipina and Eileen and David. It takes a village, doesn't it, though? Hi, Jen. You got on here, girl. So understanding versus criticism. If you grew up with a lot of criticism in your home too, you need to check yourself. Like I grew up, I will use that at half empty, half full expression. One parent was always the glass is half full, the other one was half empty. So in my head, I was always trying to seek that balance of not speaking to myself in very negative ways and being very critical of myself, and trying to take in the other parent who was very positive and warm and loving and proud and pushing me in those right directions. When we come from places where we've only been taught criticism and negativity, it is really hard to break the cycle. When things don't go our way, our first thought is, oh my God, of course it didn't. What's wrong with me? I just want to say to you that changing your thought changes your whole mood and your whole behavior. Just because you think a thought doesn't mean you have to accept it as the absolute truth. You can explore within yourself, is that thought making me feel any better or any worse? Do I need to hang on to that thought? Or can I now move forward and past that negative thought that I have inside of me? That is a practice of checking in within yourself, that critical voice. We all have a critical parent in our head, and we need to keep that critical parent in check, because that constant criticism creates a very foul mood and can create over a long period of time for depression. So many of you suffer and feel and experience bouts of depression. And grief is okay. Grief is different. It's a moment of time where you're just letting go because something painful has happened to you. But depression is different. It's a longer, lingering, constant feeling of not having enough, being enough, feeling satisfied and feeling full in life. So please, as we're going through this, are you in recovery? I'm recovering from codependency, and I have worked with addicts all my life and have many members of my family who are in recovery, which is amazing today and such a gift. So thank you for that. And it is, and I agree with Joel that people find it much easier to talk down to others and to blame others because they know deep down inside they don't have what it takes to overcome. I like that. And yeah, it's just like a smile can change your mood. I actually heard on TV a survey or research that had been done about how instantaneously when you smile, it changes your brain chemistry and causes the muscles start sending messages to the rest of your body that it's time to feel good. So if you do nothing else today, try to look at the people in your life with compassion and understanding, even when they're getting it wrong. Even when they're doing something annoying or irritating you. Think about what we shared here today. I appreciate you guys checking in and giving me all your feedback and your support and your thoughts and your comments, whatever those are. When people constantly bring you down, you start to believe you are that person they say you are. Exactly, Yvonne. You're right on point, girl. It's hard to come back from that. I know this. Now I am who I am and better person for that. Yes, yes. So, and I see Filipina, I hope you'll come back on Thursday and watch the live. I'm going to continue to talk about understanding versus compassion, and the understanding starts with you. So all throughout your day today, start to understand, look at people from the lens of, I'm going to try to share my joy instead of sharing my anger and my criticism towards people, and see how that makes me feel. It's not just about being of service to others, it's about being of service to yourself. Feel the joy within yourself. Smile. Try to do something positive. When you see something frustrating and angry, take a deep breath. Count to 5 and say to yourself, you know what? I don't have to feed into this negative thought. I don't have to feed into this anger. I want to choose to change the course of my day, and go ahead and follow that. Follow that positive path, follow that positive thought, and you're going to see that your day is going to get a lot less frustrating, is going to be a lot more peaceful, and a lot more full of joy. So thank you, Eileen and Yvonne. Thank you for all your comments, and Joel and Filipina. I really appreciate it. And again, please tune in and listen to what you want to listen to, and please don't take what doesn't serve you. And please don't just stay on here just to be a voice of criticism, anger, and hurt, because that's not what I'm about. And what I want to do is just be some kind of role model, some kind of inspiration, some kind of mentor. I've mentored many, many people throughout my life, and now this is just taking it to a different level. So I do appreciate those of you who have listened in and chimed in with me today and send your love and support. I'm really grateful for that. Thank you, Sherry. It's good to see you. And Filipina, thank you for saying that, honey. I really appreciate that. So Thursday night, 6 p.m., right? So that's 9 p.m. on the West Coast and 8 p.m. on Central Time, Central Mountain Time. And I'm out here on the West Coast in California, so 6 p.m. our time. So thank you all. Adam, when is a good time? Oh, I just said the time. Thanks, Adam, for asking. I really appreciate you all. I'm sending you my love today. I'm sending you compassion and understanding when you run up against today anyone who wants to come at you, criticize you, belittle you, make you feel less than who you are. I want you to find the strength within you to just have understanding for that person. Maybe you need to say a prayer. Maybe you need to just walk away. Maybe you need to take a time out. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're listening, Adam. But whatever you do, don't take in someone else's hurt, anger, resentment towards you, because it does not serve you. So take it, take what you need, and leave the rest. Bye, John. Have a beautiful day. You too. All right. Thank you. See you Thursday night.